Hello, hello, hello. So today we are going to do something very, very different for the channel. We're going to do a segment that is new to this channel, which is fragrance topics and fragrance news. We're going to talk about new launches. We're going to talk about fragrances that are currently available that smell like other ones. We're going to just digest everything going on in the fragrance community today. So I know currently I do a lot of reviews on YouTube, and that is my niche and my forte, but I would like to talk about other fragrances that are coming out to, give you my opinions on them to see if they are worth it or if they're not worth it, if we should go out and buy them or if we shouldn't buy them. So today we're going to go through new fragrance launches that are coming out and just kind of talk about if they're, something exciting or if they're not. They very well may not be exciting fragrances. We're also going to talk about a fragrance here that I discovered yesterday. Well, I didn't discover the fragrance. I knew about it. I had smelt it before, but I really never put the thought process into what this fragrance smelled like to me. And we'll just get into that at the very end. So in April or 2024, we have quite a few different fragrances being launched. We first have some from Aqua di Parma. We have Mandarino di Sicilia. So they do have a Mandarino fragrance currently, and they are coming out with this one as well, which is, I'm not sure if it's just a new release or if it's a repackaged version or if they're adding something different to it, but it is a new launch from the house of Aqua di Parma. It's going to be obviously part of the Blue Mediterranean line. I do have quite a few of the Blue Mediterranean fragrances from Aqua di Parma, and they are good. They're eau de toilette, so they're not eau de colognes like the rest of the Aqua di Parma collection is, but I don't know, they're a little simplistic. They are likable, they are going to smell good. They're very refreshing scents, but they're a little bit, if you will, simplistic for my taste. I mean, there's no je ne sais quoi to them. They kind of smell like anything else on the market, but they are very beautiful scents for travel and for summertime. If you want something simple to go to the beach, to the pool, or to a pool party, then this line is definitely the one for you. So they have that coming out, and they also have another fragrance coming out, which is going to be in the black bottles. I do have an oud fragrance that's in the black bottle that was given to me as a Christmas gift from my partner. I think it was when I first started YouTube. I can't remember exactly. And that fragrance is going to be called Crystal Incense. And the notes are a little interesting. So we have ginger, grapefruit, pepper, cedarwood, cardamom, frankincense, benzoin musk, and patchouli. And the frankincense on this actual fragrance lists it as frankincense CO2, and then it has a registered trademark behind it, which is, it could be two things really. It could be a synthetic component, it could be a mixture of a raw ingredient with a synthetic component. I would have to smell it to give you the actual rundown of this fragrance, but these are a little bit more on the expensive side because I believe they are eau de parfums. They're not eau de colognes or eau de toilettes, they're eau de parfums, and they're supposed to be very high quality, potent fragrances. They are good. I do like their black bottle series. They're a little pricey. They're even pricey at discounters, especially because Aqua di Parma can be found at discounters for quite a steal and such a good discount. So yes, they're a little bit on the expensive side. We also have some from Atelier d'Ors. I have not reviewed this fragrance line ever really, and I have not smelt this fragrance line, but they are coming out with two different fragrances. And the first one is called Blue Madeline, and then second one is called Villa Primrose, and they're both focused on the note of rose centifolia, and they're going to be very light, airy fragrances. They're going to be very summer ready, and I definitely think that they don't speak to me necessarily. I do like a summer scent. If you know me, I love a light, fresh scent. If it's done well, if it has, that je ne sais quoi or that it factor, and I'm not sure if these will. Another fragrance launch is from the house of Bond Number 9. I have a love-hate relationship with this brand. There's some fragrances that I have smelled that I'm like, don't like it, but I'm not going to review it because if anyone knows Bond Number 9, they do not take criticism very well. But this one is called Beekman's Place, and it's a new launch from the brand. Let me read you the notes, and then you leave me in the comments what your thoughts on this fragrance are, because there's a lot. There's a lot going on here. So we get ambergris, aquatic notes, basil, bergamot, lemon, blackcurrant, driftwood, geranium, sandalwood, musk, oak moss, patchouli, pear, pineapple, and tonka bean. So what else could they have not put in this fragrance? I mean, it's a lot of notes. That could be one of two things: a very good thing, and it can be a very, complex, beautiful, artistic fragrance, or it can be a big mess. It would have to be a fragrance that I have to smell to let you know the actual truth about it and to really see if it's worth it or not. Bond number 9 is a little bit on the pricey side, so my personal opinion, if you do end up liking this fragrance, wait till it comes out at discounters. Just my humble opinion. From the house of, well, this is not really a house, is it? It's a makeup brand. It's a very famous makeup brand by the makeup artist of Charlotte Tilbury, and she has a fragrance line coming out. So I think she already has a fragrance currently available on Sephora's website, at least, and on her website. But it's not anything super magnificent or groundbreaking or popular, even. But she's coming out with a line of fragrances. And let me read you the names of these. We have Joyphoria, we have More Sex, we have Love Frequency, we have Cosmic Power, Calm Bliss, and Magic Energy. These are all in kind of cute little colorful bottles. They don't really fit the Charlotte Tilbury aesthetic, which is kind of Art Deco, old Hollywood meets, the modern world meets very girly-ish type of vibes. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be a big fan of these. I don't know if I will even try them, to be honest with you. I understand. I don't know. The thing about fragrances to me is I think everyone is launching a fragrance in today's market, and we're not really putting that attention to details and to quality and to manufacturing something that comes from a very beautiful place, whether it be a love story that you're trying to convey with a scent, or whether that be an inspiration that you want to talk about through that perfume itself, or the raw ingredients or the elements that take time, effort, and sweat and blood and tears to manufacture to put into that fragrance. We're just getting a bunch of synthetic crap thrown into a bottle, thrown down a manufacturing plant line, and we're all buying it. I mean, we're seeing that happen with Sol de Janeiro. Everyone and their mom is buying the creams and the little body sprays and saying, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And I mean, it is. Sure, you smell good, but the beauty and the artistic form of perfume is going to die if we continue to go down this route, in my opinion. So I don't know. We will try it. I will give you more details as these fragrances do launch, and we'll see what the quality of ingredients are, if they're good, if they're not, if they're synthetic, or if they're not. I'm actually working on a video. One of my subscribers, I don't like to call you guys subscribers, I think that's such a rude term. Someone that watches my videos commented that they would like me to do a comparison between synthetic and also natural ingredients, and to see what fragrance brands do manufacture, fragrances with raw ingredients and the attention to detail that takes. I am working on that. That is a big undertaking to do. There's so many brands out there, and there's so many brands that started off doing natural ingredients and now are moving over to synthetics. And there's a lot of them that never did natural ingredients and have always been synthetic brands. So I'm working on that. I have to really put the video together and create a blueprint as to how I'm going to convey the message with that. But it's a great idea. Thank you so much. I really appreciate anyone that gives me these grand ideas on these perfume videos, especially because it's in a world of YouTube and social media, it feels like videos are very repetitive and we all talk about the same fragrances over and over and over again. Jo Malone is launching a fragrance collection. I will flash the perfume bottles up on the screen. They're ugly. I'm just saying, in my opinion, they're really, really ugly bottles. It's like the cheapest thing that they could find at the factory. They're like, let's throw the Jo Malone logo on that and throw it down the assembly line and let's create hype. And they are limited edition bottles, but they're just ugly. I'm sorry, they're not pretty. The first one we have is Emerald Thyme, and that one's going to have lemon, petitgrain, rosemary, thyme, obviously, geranium, and moss. And these are all going to retail for $90 for 30 mils, which is going to be 1 fluid ounce in the US. That's a lot of money for such a small bottle. They are limited edition, so that's understandable, but they are colognes. So keep that in mind. These are eau de colognes. They're not eau de toilettes. They're not eau de parfums. Now, with Jo Malone, I've noticed that sometimes the eau de colognes last quite a bit. Sometimes they don't. I don't know what the difference would be with these actual eau de colognes. They're all manufactured by Estee Lauder, so you would think the quality would be consistent throughout the board, but it's not. This one is called Ginger Beer. Who wants to smell like a ginger beer? I'm sure someone out there wants to smell like a ginger beer, but does someone out there that wants to smell like a ginger beer want to pay $90 for a 30 ml bottle? I don't know about that. I mean, let me know if that's you in the comments because I would really like to know who wants to smell like a ginger beer. The next one we have is Musk Memento. This one's more of my taste. It has aldehydes and breath. It also has true lavender, cedarwood, white musk, and amber. So it's going to be a very light, airy, fresh fragrance with those aldehydic notes. It might be a good one. I'm probably not going to buy it, just so you do know. But it's probably the one that, speaks a little bit more to me as a consumer. Then the next one we have is called Passiflora, which is passion flower, and I think it's either Spanish or Italian. And that one's going to have cardamom, honeysuckle, vanilla, patchouli, tonka bean, and obviously passion flowers. So, yes, this collection, I'm not sure what exactly they're doing here. The bottles are very ugly. The actual marketing for it's a little confusing as well. But we'll see how it goes. Let me know down in the comments if you have smelled them, if you haven't smelled them. Also, let me know down in the comments if you even have an interest in me talking about Joe Malone. It's that brand is it's very sad because I used to be a huge fan of this brand. Whenever I first worked in cosmetics, I was like, oh, they have some pretty neat stuff. Their concept's very different. It's very English, and those scents, the old ones, had emotion, and even Estee Lauder owned them back then. But I think Estee Lauder saw the cash cow that they had, and they just started pumping out new and new and new and new products, kind of like what they're doing at Tom Ford now, and kind of like what they did with Killian, and kind of what they're doing with Frederic Malle. And unfortunately, what that does is it just really dilutes the brand and it makes the brand no longer important or relevant because there's so many different products being launched. But let me know if you do have an interest in this brand. I will be happy to do a video for you if you want me to. If you're not, also let me know down in the comments. And the final thing I want to talk to you guys about, I went yesterday to the department store and I got to smell a fragrance that is well loved in the fragrance industry. Everyone talks about it. Everyone and their mom's like, I need this fragrance. You need this fragrance. They just shove it down your throat that you need this fragrance from the house of Francis Kurkdjian. The fragrance that we're talking about here today is Grand Soiree, and this fragrance was launched in 2016. And I have to say, I went to the counter. I wasn't impressed. I didn't think anything was magnificent. I didn't think anything was groundbreaking. I didn't think anything was super unique. And mind you, the counter sat next to Creed, which I do love Creed. I have a hard time paying for their prices, but Creed does have some craftsmanship and some artistic view to the actual brand itself. Whether they have been overhyped at this point, that is something different, but there is some creativeness to that brand of Creed. But Francis Kurkdjian sat right next to that brand, and I was like, okay, let's smell it, let's try it. And I went over and I, was spraying some on different cards, and I had one that I was like, this smells familiar, but I have to put my nose on it. And I put it here, and here it is. So I had sprayed Grand Soiree on here and I was like, this smells so familiar. I kept thinking to myself, I think I know this. I like it, but I think I know this. And yesterday we went to dinner for my birthday with family and I was like asking Chris, can you smell this for me and tell me if this smells like anything you've ever smelled like before? And he turns around and says to me, it smells familiar. And I was like, I thought so too. I said, well, it smells like a Burberry scent. And he says, I think, did I wear it? And I was like, yes, you have worn it. And long story short, it smells identical to Amber Heath. Now, this one was launched in 2017, so a year after Grand Soiree was launched. There's no differences here. They have different notes, allegedly. These brands will list whatever they want to list for notes, whatever they want you to know that's in the actual fragrance. And like I said, they'll only list the actual, what they call their star ingredient notes itself. They don't smell different at all. They smell literally like the same perfume. You could have told me that this was Amber Heath and I would have believed you because there is no difference to the actual fragrances themselves. Now here's the kicker about this. Francis Kurkdjian is a perfumer for Amber Heath by Burberry. I have said this for years. Burberry Her smells like a diluted version of Baccarat Rouge 540 as well. I know someone out there is going to comment, no, it doesn't. Yes, it does. You are just buying into the hype at this point if you are defending the fragrance. They smell identical. There's a little nuance here. But with Amber Heath and Grand Soiree, there is no difference whatsoever. You literally have to go smell both of them and then come back and argue with me and say that they don't smell alike because they're one to one. In my opinion, the quality of the packaging and the actual juice inside is a little bit better with the Burberry one. Just in my humble opinion, that might change from person to person, but I do like these little bottles. I think they're cute, and the brand of Burberry has a little bit more prestige than Francis Kurkdjian, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you like Francis Kurkdjian? What fragrance are you excited for that's coming out this year? Are you excited about Jo Malone? Are you excited about Bond number 9? Let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fragrance related content. Until next time, you guys, take care. Bye.